Coming to you from Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge in Ingalls, Indiana, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. It's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Isaiah.
And today we're going to taste through some stuff from Isaiah's honeymoon.
From my honeymoon, yeah.
And some other little samples, too.
Yeah, it is kind of a whole sample platter here.
Yeah.
Today. It's like you're walking through Costco on a Saturday morning.
Exactly, except for Costco in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
But we're also going to be smoking the brand new Aladino Sumatra, the limited edition Toro, and it's been selling great already. We've only had it for a couple of days, and it's a really good one. Might be one of my favorite Sumatras of the year so far.
I am excited to try this for sure. It looks like a really nice and dark Sumatra, so part of me is just very hopeful it does the chocolatey thing that a lot of the Sumatras are doing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But today we're going to be... I guess we'll start off on this stuff that I brought home from St. Lucia. Because Victoria and I were in St. Lucia for our honeymoon, and I brought back a couple bottles. So we'll start on this one. It's from Chairman's Reserve. So in St. Lucia, there is one distillery that makes all of their labels. Chairman's Reserve and Admiral Rodney are kind of their two biggest. Those are the more premium ones. I actually like the Chairman's Reserve stuff the best because the Admiral Rodney is blended in a way that it's just supposed to be smooth. And
okay.
This has a little bit more going on. So this first one we're going to start off on is only 40%. That's kind of typical with rums.
Yep.
But it's the Forgotten Cask. The cool thing about this is that it is higher aged. I think it's 8 to 12 year aged rum in here.
Okay.
The other thing is that it's a blend of pot and column still. So it's just a different style of distillation, and yeah.
Now, have you gone down kind of the rabbit hole of learning? That's good for me. Learning about rum, a little bit more about the history and all that stuff, or have you?
I have not quite done it yet. Like this trip in St. Lucia, I spent a lot of time at the rum bar at our resort, and really sampled through a ton of brands. You know, you're here. Here you don't see as many brands as you would there, and there were familiar names, of course, but it was like, I don't know, even with bourbon, you're getting into something, you don't want to be disappointed on a bottle, so you don't really take a chance until you know what you're talking about. So It was nice to just be able to sit through and taste through stuff, but we just both V-cut this cigar, so what's the cold draw?
Held up great. I get that cocoa on the cold draw.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Kind of like Cocoa Puffs right now.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of more of a raisiny sweetness, but it's definitely that cocoa.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Are we going to wait and do the other cigars later? Or do you want to start off with little ones?
Oh, it's up to you.
Oh, I'm okay, because this is going to last for a while, so we might want to start with the little one.
Okay. So, other thing I brought back was... that
also on the cold draw?
Yeah.
It's got black pepper on the tongue.
Yeah, I can see that.
Digging it.
Other thing I brought back from St. Lucia is some real Cubans. The thing is that Rob always talks about on the show how bad Cuba's got. And... I figured we'll smoke these little tiny ones. They're Partagas. It's a 20 count mini box, and they are legitimately just.
No, wait, we can't just pass this up, man.
What?
The packaging. We're trying to figure out what the hell the packaging's all about because
it's all the anti-smoking stuff.
But the anti-smoking one on this one is a dude laying on a bed naked, curled up in a fetal position.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, what?
That's maybe that's just how bad Cubans are. They'll make you so sad that you'll strip butt naked and lay down in bed in a fetal position. Honestly, if I didn't know better, I'd just be like, yeah, he's probably hungover. Like,
It looks like he's
pretty
just
badly hungover.
really bad night in the Cuban bars.
I really can't figure out what it has to do with.
I don't get it either, man. All right, we're gonna try this. So they're little cigarillos. They are true Cubans. Looking at it, I can definitely tell that they're true Cubans. But
I got nothing on the cold draw. It's tiny.
You want only little ones. So we'll try this out. I will say I had a Monte Cristo torpedo the other day. It was a Cuban from Dave Belial. He got it for me.
Oh, cool.
Shout out to Dave. And it smoked like a traditional Cuban. It was very light, very mild, and very earthy. And that was really about all I was getting out of it.
When I was there, I smoked a couple, and they all remind me of a very similar flavor palette to like the Mil Diaz, where it leans earthy, has those cedary, a little bit of baking spices.
Yeah,
Which is actually kind of what this is doing.
it is. I am getting a little bit of cinnamon. It's really about it for me. Like just
There's
spice.
actually a creaminess to the smoke. I mean, this looks like a single leaf rolled all the way up.
Yeah.
Tam, you want a little Cuban? Okay.
I mean, it's not terrible for a quick smoke. This wouldn't be bad. If I was smoking this flavor profile in a Toro, no, I couldn't do it. But a little guy like this, it's actually not bad.
But there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I couldn't do a full one.
Yeah, I mean, if this was it the entire time. Okay. So, so this
almost has like a cinnamon sugar thing going there. It's like it's almost sweet tipped or something.
I don't
like on the back of my teeth taste sweet.
It is sweet, but I don't know that it would be sweet.
No,
tipped.
it's not sweet tipped. It just has that note to it to me.
So,
all right, so let's get into the Lucia Chairman's Reserve.
On the rum, it had I think the reason that I gravitated more toward the Chairman's Forgotten Cast and what we'll get into, which is the 1931, is they have a lot of common flavors with the bourbons that I love.
Yeah, that's nice. It's got almost like a black cherry. It's just got that nice buttery kind of coating of your tongue.
It's like brown sugar, black cherry.
Yeah.
A little bit of cinnamon in there coming from this tiny cigar, but
yeah. Sorry, I was getting a text.
No, you're good. So, Rob, you think you can get down with some aged rums? Yeah.
I don't mind rum at all. I just don't really gravitate towards it just because it doesn't do as much for me.
So one thing that I know and have heard from multiple people, including the guy himself, is that Fred Minnick, who is a world-renowned whiskey taster, when he gets bored of whiskey, he moves to rum. And like tasting nicer rums that aren't just built for cocktails, I fully understand that.
Yeah.
It's
and that's one of the things too, is like, we're notorious for just going for the highest proof, anything we can get. I will say there's been a few times here in the last month or so that I went and just kind of pour a scotch, a lower proof scotch or something, an Irish, something different. Even the cognacs up there, just to kind of balance it out a little bit. And what I found is, going into them, I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to appreciate it as much. But being open minded, I come away with thinking, man, that was really tasty.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to give you heat, but what's kind of cool is, you could, being used to drinking 120, 130, 140 proof stuff, you go to an 80 proofer, you're going to get all the flavor, and it's not going to burn. It's not going to be bad in any way. It's just going to be flavor.
And that's good. Like on nicer 80 proofers.
Yeah.
I think sometimes on pours, and if you like this, I'm not dogging on it on any way. I'm just using it as an example. But on Basil Hayden's, it's so far watered down past where it was originally.
I agree.
That it feels lacking. A lot of scotches, they're not distilling up to 125 or whatever. And having
it may come out of the barrel at 90.
It could.
And then they prove it down slightly.
But even this Chairman's Reserve Forgotten Cask, it's still kind of oily on the palate. And
it is
satisfying in that way.
Honestly, with the flavor of it, it doesn't feel like they've really watered anything down. You're not getting, I mean, because it's got so much of that viscous oil in the mouth. I dig it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, what I realized is you can get the Forgotten casks from Chairman Reserve in Indiana.
Okay.
It is currently available at Total Wine. It's a $50
be-
bottle there.
I may get that
I
in
paid
here.
$25 for it in St. Lucia.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and that's we've got the Chairman's Reserve spiced rum. We've had that one for a while. This might be a good rum to bring in as a backup.
Yeah, so they're
regular rum.
in St. Lucia. The two rums that they drink all the time are the spiced rums, and if you're feeling fancy, you drink the Chairman's Reserve spiced rum there.
Yeah.
One of the ways that we were introduced to drinking spiced rum is either with pineapple juice or cranberry juice.
I can see that.
You do spiced rum, cranberry, and a lime wedge that you squeeze in there.
I can see that being
Dude,
good.
it is the best way to drink rum in the
It's
morning.
fall.
Yeah,
It's
it is fall.
Yeah, that's great.
Well,
Well, that's what Lisa does with that. Lisa and Tam, they make that Chairman's Reserve old fashioned.
Yeah.
And it's just, you put a cinnamon stick in there along with it, and it's just a fall in a glass.
Yeah, so I was talking with the people from St. Lucia Distillers because the resort we were at was doing a festival called Rum and Rhythms where they had like Caribbean bands in and just
awesome.
tasting tents of all the rums. So they had like Bacardi there, they had El Dorado, they had all the St. Lucia stuff, they quite a few others too. And I was talking with him, and I said, so there's a citrusy component to your spiced rum. And he said, yeah, we use orange peels. Which
Makes sense.
I was like, yeah, that's...
All right, I'm done.
I'm
Sorry.
not sure I would have pulled that out on my own.
On this one? Or just
No,
the
on the
spice?
spiced rum,
Gotcha.
yeah. On here, they're not putting anything else in it. Yeah, I mean, this is a...
It wasn't bad.
no, I don't think so.
It was starting to leave a little bit of weirdness on my tongue, so I decided to go ahead and go to the other one.
Yeah, I'm good to put this one down too, and I am excited about the Aladino Sumatra. So,
And we do, like we said, once we get through the couple rums here, we got some samples to try, and we'll talk about them a little bit more. These were donated by the Bothers.
shout out to the
one
Bothers.
for each of us to drink there.
Yeah.
This one was donated by Will Smith, Will Breeden. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. Dang, where'd Will Smith come from? I haven't heard his name for years. Jeez.
You were watching I Am Legend last
I
night.
am legend. No.
That's funny.
All right, I'm ready to light this bad boy up.
Absolutely.
And I'm using my brand new lighter I got from Florida on my vacation.
Heck yeah.
They had the Zippo with the Zippo soft flame inserts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah.
So I will. So I took this Julius from Calibri with me, and it was a little bit challenging to light a cigar on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But I did enjoy the soft flame lighting because I noticed that when I lit with a torch on a beach, which is notoriously crazy windy, that it had more of an opportunity to fry everything
Yep.
and run off on me. So
That's what I find when I'm on the beach with a jet. You end up getting the jet fly up the side of your cigar, and you got an 1.5 inch gash in the side of your cigar.
So, once again, I am still shouting out this Julius. I have had almost no issues using it outdoors. It's just on the beach, and I just felt like a cigarette smoker, like trying to shield it. But yeah, whatever works.
I'll tell you,
man.
the thing I love about this cigar right off the bat is it pops right into some black pepper, and you get that spice kick. And as you smoke down on it a little bit further, the pepper kind of subsides a little bit, and you just get all the flavor. Definitely did a really nice job on this one.
Oh yeah,
And draw is
there's
absolutely
black
perfect
pepper on
it.
the tongue
Yes.
for this. Yeah,
And tongue in the retrohale, but
Yeah.
definitely on the tongue. But yeah, the draw on this thing is absolutely perfect.
yeah. This does not feel Aladino to me.
It does. You're exactly right. It tastes like something totally different, which is nice because they're
Like if you
starting to
if you
experiment
gave
with
me
some
this
things.
and you said guess the brand, I would say Espinosa Rojas. I would probably not lean Rojas with it just because of the ring gauge. It's
Yeah.
a 52, and I don't know that Rojas has a 52. But
Yeah, they do. They do. They get some Toros.
I thought they were 50s.
They could be 50 Toros, which honestly should. I like 50 Toros.
Yeah. But, Aladino typically has that signature. And again, this is my first time smoking it if I haven't said this, and I'm right off the light with it. Aladino typically has that signature, like, cinnamon clove thing from the Corojo leaf, like, as a predominant note on the beginning of every single one of their cigars. But it's...
Well, they're not disclosing what the binder and filler are on this one. They're just saying a Honduran. It's limited edition. They can do whatever they want to with it.
I'm sure it has the Corojo in there.
Oh.
Because now that I say it, I'm detecting it.
Yeah.
But it's not...
I think it's the higher priming Corojo,
Yeah.
like from the Corojo Reserva.
I could totally see that.
But this has got such a unique flavor. It's not, like the lounge exclusive has Sumatra over Corojo.
Yeah.
This one's got some other stuff going on. I think this might have some Habano in it. It might have some of that Piloto leaf that they've been practicing with over there a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm really digging it.
And actually, going back to the rum on this cigar, it brings out a lot more of those vanilla notes and some more of the baking spices out of it. I'm not sure with this cigar that I'd be able to say,
You're right.
it's definitely a rum.
It definitely knocked down some of the really strong black cherry
Yeah.
and made it more vanilla cherry. Just a light cherry. That's nice. It's a good
Yeah.
way to start the day.
Yeah, it sure is.
So St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, man.
So you enjoyed your trip? You had a good time?
Definitely did. We were at Coconut Bay Resort and Spa, and they really did it up. Now, granted, I do not come from money. I do not have money. People who came from money would complain about little things there, and I was just like, they thought about my needs before I even had it. I don't.
Yeah.
I have no complaints. And one thing I was worried about there was hey, there are bars everywhere. Are they going to have water readily available? And yeah, there's just water dispensers that normally have fruit or something in them.
Yeah.
All over the place. And it's just little things like that where you were like, oh, this is amazing.
That's cool.
They had a bar upstairs, which was, I think it's called Peter John's. That's what they called it on the resort. And that was the rum bar. So they had over 60 rums there. And
wow.
I did the liberty to try 50 of them.
Really?
Yeah, I put in the work.
Dang.
I was
So
working
basically
hard.
your new wife did her thing on the honeymoon and you did yours. Did she try them?
She was drinking rum with me.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I did not realize that I could get her on a neat pour of rum.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a good place to start. I mean, because she's not a whiskey person yet.
No, but she
But
loved
this is a
this
great
Forgotten
start.
Cask, and I was like, heck yeah.
I mean, honestly, that might not be a bad thing to throw on something like that Yellow Rose,
yeah.
because that's got really great flavor at the 80 proof point in a whiskey. She might be bouncing into it before you know it.
Could be. So we were having a blast drinking rums. They had a swim up bar in one of their pools.
Nice.
You could just swim up and get whatever you wanted. Did a lot of that. Did a
Yeah.
whole lot of that. We also took a day and went out to see the island of St. Lucia. It's not that big.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is 14 miles long.
Oh, wow.
And it takes you an hour to get to the other side just because it's...
And there's a college on there, on that land, on the.
They do.
That's
Yeah.
where one of Chloe's friends goes to school, and she went down there to see her.
What a wild place to go to school.
I know, isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
yeah.
I don't know what she was going for. I don't know if it was art or what it was, but there's something there that they're known for.
Okay, yeah. But it was fantastic. We even had the opportunity to go see a volcano that was still active, but the walls had collapsed in on it, and people had built houses inside of it and stuff like
nice.
that.
Nice.
In
That
the
seems like always a
center
great
of it,
idea.
yeah. I'm not. I mean, it's been. I think they said it's been 300 years since it erupted last. Like, it's been a while, but not quite long enough for me to do it.
No.
And we had the opportunity to go swim in the Sulphur Springs there. What they don't tell you when they tell you, like, oh yeah, bring along a swimsuit, is that it is hotter than your hot tub. Like, I think they said it was 136 degrees in there.
Okay.
And it was 95 degrees outside.
Oh, lovely.
And just with all of the gases coming out of the volcano, which is still active.
Yeah.
Like, it's still sitting there bubbling in these sulfur springs. There's a reason they call them sulfur springs. It literally smells like eggs.
Yeah.
Dude, like a mile out from this volcano, you could smell the eggs.
And how long did it take for you to get your bathing suit to knock off that smell too after you had them in there?
Oh, I didn't go in.
Oh, you didn't
I
get in?
dipped my foot in and was like, there is no way. Like, there is no way. I don't get in a hot tub. No.
No? Okay.
I don't even get in a hot tub here until there's snow on the ground. Like, what you think? I mean, unless my back hurts, like,
Yeah.
or
Like
I need
mine
it.
does every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Old man
There
things.
is no way that I would get in a hot tub. Get in a hot tub when it's 95 degrees out. Oh yeah, the entire time we were there, UV index was 12.
Oh, beautiful.
Which, like,
Beautiful. Which is
on a
in
good day
existence here.
in Florida, you get 10.
10. Yeah. Wow. All right, give me into the next bottle.
Yeah, so we're moving on to the Chairman's Reserve 1931. This is their highest aged product.
Still 80 proof?
No, so this one is 92.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Creeping up a little
so
bit.
this is their highest aged one. The people of St. Lucia do not like it because it's not smooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do they also not like it because it's a little too proofy for them?
Yeah, I think that is what they.
Is that what they
attribute
equate
as-
the smoothness? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But this is higher aged. This is, I think it was 10 to 16 year in here.
It doesn't have near the
It's also
the
a
sweetness on the nose.
Yeah, it's also a blend of molasses and sugarcane based rums, both from their pot still and their column still. So
Tell me if I'm wrong on this. The nose on this reminds me of a low rye.
Yeah. No, you're correct. I think that's one of the reasons I like it because
that's
it's
awesome.
a spicy rum. It, like, oddly
Okay.
enough,
It's just like a low end rye, or not low end, but low percentage rye.
yeah, it's I don't know. It still does that vanilla. Still does kind of that black cherry thing.
Got a lot of oak.
Yeah, it does.
That's not bad.
I told you I was going to
I'm
turn you
digging
into
that.
a rum guy.
Oh, I like rum. I just wouldn't. I don't go to it often. But that's got a vanilla oak.
Yeah.
And oh my god, what's the ending there? Sounds horrible, but it's kind of got that iodine thing going.
Yeah, that
bit
almost
of iodine.
salinity.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's a small island producing most of their sugar cane for their rum. They're pulling from other places as well, just because with the population, they don't have as much farmland as they once did.
Right.
And there's not much place to go, though the next island over is only 20 miles by boat. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really.
Did you guys
not
take
far.
a boat ride over?
No.
Huh.
But yeah,
Oh, that's
so,
good. That's totally unique.
sadly, this 1931 is not something that I saw was available in the States.
I got you.
This is like their limited release, their high end thing.
I think this would be one of those, though. I feel like a traditional rum drinker is not going to dig it. It's going to be someone that likes to try and different distillates, different types
Yeah.
of distillation, because it's not your sweet rum.
It's really not. There's a lot of people there that were shocked that I loved the Chairman's Reserve stuff as much as I did, because you have like a lot of the Barbados rum brands there, which that, as far as what everyone was telling me, like that's where, and I don't know rum history, so take this with a grain of salt. I heard these from reps in the island of St. Lucia. They were telling me that Barbados is the birthplace of rum, so everybody thinks that that's the high-end stuff. Like that's like the El Dorado, the Zacapa, all of those. Like I tried El Dorado 23, and it was just oaky and vanilla and nothing else.
Yeah.
And like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so smooth." It's like it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, El Dorado 23 is a fine pour, but it doesn't have enough complexity going on. And I don't think they're blending it for complexity. I don't think that's what the audience is looking for.
Sure.
In the higher end rums. They're looking for something that's just straight sweet, a little bit of oak presence, and
something goes nice with a Coke.
no, I mean there's a lot of people that don't.
I know.
That I mean, even there, they use their regular dark rums or their spiced rums with a Coke. But you would never see somebody putting like Forgotten Cask or something in there. Though, you know what? If that's how you want to drink your nice rums, do it.
I mean, in all honesty, like you said, you paid $25 for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? $25, you do whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah, I mean,
if it was $150, maybe you think about
25 USD on that island was a lot of money to them.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the 1931 cost me 60, and that was like special. I didn't see a single bottle there over 60.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that was $100, I would have bought it.
Yeah. So was the rum bar, was that included in your resort package? So you didn't have to pay for that?
I didn't
extra?
pay for a single thing. Yeah.
Sweet.
So, I mean, and a lot of people go there and they'll just drink whatever they like to drink. Whereas I was like, yeah, I'm going to get a full-blown education on rum while I'm here. Like,
oh, yeah.
But it was so hot, even at night, like after the sun went down there, that I could not imagine drinking barrel-proof bourbons there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was just... I mean, I'm sure you had some of that in Florida too, but
No,
it
was 75 degrees.
Dang,
75, and we had one day that was raining. That was it.
That's my perfect.
We had
Florida
one. We had
weather.
one day that we were on the beach. That I think it hit 80, and it was still breezy and it felt great.
Heck yeah, man!
Even in Texas, it was 75 degrees.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy, but it was awesome.
Yeah, but we really enjoyed our trip to St. Lucia. Honestly, Caribbean food, I feel like I could eat it forever. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people who were there were like not big fans of it, but you're talking about fish from the fish market that's a mile away from the resort coming in.
Yeah.
I mean,
just pulled it off the boat.
And the other thing that they did there at the resort is they had giant grills. Like that's a pretty common way of cooking there, is just all your proteins on a grill.
Sure.
You know what? I'm not mad about it one bit. Like they're just throwing lump charcoal on there because that's what they have access to, and grilling everything. Like ate a ton of chicken that way, lamb that way.
Yeah.
Ton of fish. I guess they had. Some boat had pulled in a ton of salmon and tuna. I don't know. I don't believe them on the salmon because, you know, I don't know where the salmon are, but I don't think they're down there.
It could have been a different breed.
Yeah. But the tuna there was fantastic.
I love fresh tuna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were down in Well, are you done with your St. Lucia story for now?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we went down. Alan Hill and I went down. Shout out to Alan Hill.
Shout out, Alan.
He set up the event for me to go with him down to the Bastards Ball with the Crowded Barrel Distillery, the Whiskey Tribe. And that was a blast.
Yeah.
It was so much fun meeting the guys from the tribe and seeing their school and just, you know, tasting through a bunch of Texas whiskey through there. It was a really good time, very chill. I was expecting it to be a drunk fest. It wasn't.
That's good.
I mean, everyone was very respectful, and there was nothing crazy going on. But it was just a really great day. It was like the first weekend they've had that wasn't 95 degrees all summer.
Yeah.
And it was 75, and it was perfect.
Cool.
So that was a really great time. Alan and I found some good bottles to bring back to, some Still Austin, some Balcones, and all that. So that was a good time. Then I flew over to Destin, spent some time at Harbor Cigars.
Okay.
So that's a great little shop if you ever go down to Destin. They've got it's not a huge humidor, but what they have in the humidor is great. They have a really great selection of high-end stuff. They have all the TAA cigars. They really had, I mean, I came back with probably 30, 40 cigars I didn't need just because I hadn't seen them around here.
Yeah.
And so we'll be smoking probably in one of the future shows the Crowned Heads Lost Angel.
Yeah, which is a TAA exclusive
Yeah.
blend for them. And it's, before you ask, it's not something that we have access to
Not yet.
yet.
Yeah, I think you have to be in business for 4 or 5 years and be invited to be a TAA shop. We're only a year and a half in, so I will work on that as we get going. Because I mean, I was able to smoke the Espinosa Murcielago, the gold Murcielago.
Yeah.
That thing was freaking amazing. That one. I got one more I need to smoke. I wish I'm kicking myself in the butt now. I might call them and see if I can just order a box to ship up here for us.
Really? They're that good?
They're that good.
Yeah.
It might be one of my favorite Espinosas. I mean, it's that good.
Like,
it was that good.
55 level good?
Different because it wasn't dark San Andreas. It was. I'm pretty sure it had a Habano wrapper on it. But it was delicious.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, we spent some time there, spent some time on the beach with the family and stuff, and it was just a really good time to get away. You know, smoke some cigars, drink some bourbon,
Heck yeah.
hang out at the beach. So it was a good time. But that event down there at Still Austin or at Crowded Barrel was great. They're starting a council that I guess I have to be a part of now. It's they're actually, because they're a crowdsourced distillery, they crowdsource information, all kinds of stuff. So they're reaching out to the people that are part of the tribe and asking them to give them input on things. You know, input on, yeast strains, grain, all kinds of stuff. And, when I was the only guy there was actually a retail establishment. So they wanted to pick my brain on that. I'm like, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see because they're wanting to start distributing some of their stuff into other states. Because right now, basically everything they make, I mean, I would say probably 90% of it, if not more, is sold to people in the tribe because because it's a big group.
Well, and it doesn't seem like they're putting out a lot.
They're not putting out a lot
scale.
yet, and they don't have a huge, distillation facility.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a lot. So, but they're looking to expand that. So that could be fun down the road here. We might see some Crowded Barrel stuff coming in.
Totally. Did you buy much Crowded Barrel while you were there?
Couldn't buy anything of their stuff at their distillery because during the tribe they didn't set it up that way. So I couldn't get any. Although Alan did get a couple of bottles that he had bought apparently like 2 or 3 years ago, and they had it sitting there waiting on him. So
crazy.
He's like, "Oh, cool! I'll take us home with me."
Yeah, heck yeah, good for him.
Yeah, but it was a good time.
This Aladino Sumatra is
I'll let mine go out.
really good to me right now. On the retrohale, it's digging into some more of those red pepper notes.
Yeah.
But there is still that baseline, almost cedary quality in there, a little bit of chocolate. It's not a chocolate bomb, but those cocoa notes are there. And
yeah, still
it's
got a little bit of
super
pepper.
thick and creamy smoke, pepper on the palate still.
Yeah. I really like it because, I mean, I'm one that does not typically like Sumatras, and I was so frustrated this year with everyone coming out with Sumatras.
Yeah.
But I will say the ones that have been aged a little bit longer, that have a little bit darker wrapper on them, have actually been a lot better than I expected this year. So I'm glad to see that. I'm anxious to see what the trend's going to be next year now, but because everybody came out with Sumatras this year. But this one, like I said, I mean, I'm gonna go through all the Sumatras again. This one's definitely in my top 5 of the year right now.
This is a top contender for me.
Yeah, I mean, top 5 cigars of the year. Yeah,
I'm not sure I've smoked that many this year that absolutely blew me away. I am excited to try the Pie Red.
It's great.
Do you have them?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, science.
Definitely have to try that.
Which, speaking of crowned heads,
yeah.
December the 8th.
December the 8th.
Jake's coming to do an event with us here.
Heck yeah. What day of the week is that?
That is, sure, I think it's a Friday or Saturday. I don't remember which. But he's getting that scheduled out, trying to figure out some details. There could be a fun little surprise we do with that too. So I'm excited to see if maybe that happens. Might have a nice little liquor combination with that too. So we'll see. But but I'm looking forward to having Jake here. Jake now is taking over the territory, and he's back at it here in Indiana.
Which, if you don't know of Jake and who we're talking about with, we do have a show with, it's a Crown Head show, probably came out last year, I would guess.
Yeah.
With Jake Sanders, and he is super knowledgeable. He also has great taste in cigars and will tell you that their best cigar is the Mil Diaz, and he's right.
Mate, wait till you try the Pie Red, man. I'm telling you right now.
I'm
I
excited.
liked the Pie last year. This is totally different.
But
this is more full-bodied.
Ogdener or whatever is.
Yeah, it's Ogdener, but it's still Crown Heads. I'm calling it. It's still Crown Heads. But it's from their lineup. I guess what I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm probably going to be getting some of the. Is it the La Verde?
La Vereda.
La Vereda. I'm probably going to go ahead and get some in, especially for the event. I mean, it's a $20 cigar.
Yeah.
But I kind of
Did they take away the cap at how many you have to buy, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I just need to find out because he said somebody around here has them. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't someone real close. Might have been Blend. Maybe it was Blend.
Okay.
I'm going to go down and I'm going to smoke one before I buy them because I hate buying stuff that's that expensive and can't really get behind it. Well, and the nice thing is
at Blend, it'll only be a $50 cigar there.
No, I mean,
I'm just kidding. They're very fair on the boutique.
Yeah. I mean, Davidoffs are going to be expensive because they're Davidoff, but all the other stuff, their prices are always right on. Actually, some of their prices on like the Knuckle Sandwich 55s were cheaper than us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's crazy because we should be cheaper than everybody. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. Cool. So we'll be having him coming soon.
So what were some of your favorite cigars that you smoked on your vacation? You mentioned the Murcielago.
Murcielago.
Did you bring anything special to smoke? Or did you just buy there?
Oh no, I took a bunch with me. I took my favorites. I took some of the Las Seis Provincias, the CMW. Took some. Let's see, what else did I take with me? Now you're calling me out. I can't remember what I took. I took a little bit of all the new ones we got, like McAuliffe Black. I took some of those. Took some of the Blackwork stuff with me. I did take the Aladino Cameroon for mornings.
Did you smoke any 26s while you were there?
Yeah, I did. At Harbor, I got a couple while I was there smoking them. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I took a few down with me, but I was mainly just wanting to buy them there and smoke them there. And but I also got a bottle of which I still have a little bit for you to try. The Garrison Brothers barrel pick I picked up down there.
Freaking amazing! Take it down that quickly?
We're down to about that much in the bottle right now.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. It is absolutely delicious. I had never had any Garrison Brothers. I've heard a lot of great things about them, and this was a barrel pick from a shop down there called Wine World.
Okay.
That also was a distiller's pick, signed bottle, and all that stuff. But what's cool about Harbor is, in Florida, I'm not sure if they got laws against having alcohol and cigars in the same place for sale. They have a liquor store right next door, and you go buy your liquor, walk next door. The Harbor will get you a glass for your liquor, and you can sit out there and smoke outside and enjoy your liquor and cigars. And we did that for probably about 4 hours. So got to see an old buddy of mine, Nick Ferguson. He's a buddy of mine I met down at the Smoke Pit.
Cool.
And we hung out for a while, and it was just a really good time.
Is that how you have that connection to that shop?
Yeah, he's the one that told me we should go there, and he that was his home shop. So
cool. Yeah,
but it was a nice place. Ended up buying quite a bit of stuff there. So
good. I mean, it's always nice to go and support.
Absolutely.
Other cigar lounges. I didn't really buy that much when I was in St. Lucia. the only thing that they have available is Cubans. And when people hear me say Cubans, they'll be like, oh, he probably bought them on the beach. No, I didn't buy them at the beach. I bought them at government-run duty-free stores that are...
Well, in St. Lucia can legally sell them. You know, when you're in Mexico, you know, I hate to say this, you're not buying Cubans because they have the same laws in Mexico as America has. And same way with, you know, I believe, well, no, not Costa Rica and all those, because they're all American, you know, territories.
Yeah. So actually, St. Lucia
Puerto Rico
seems to have a very good relationship with Cuba. One of the guys we were talking to said most of their doctors come from Cuba. So they come and they work there because St. Lucia doesn't currently have a program in their college to they don't have any medical programs. So people have to come in, or they either have to leave the island, go get trained in everything, and then come back. But at that rate, why go to the States and get trained to come back when you can just stay in the States and make more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense for sure. So St. Lucia, is that a place you'll go back to?
I would love to. You know, I always hearing about the island as much as I did, I really did appreciate it. You feel bad for some of these places like that. You know, there is no way for them to ever be self-sufficient. They're currently controlled by, I think they're owned by Britain. And so they have their prime minister and everything, but it's only through that relationship that they're able to get things like fuel on the island.
Gotcha.
Because there's no way for them to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a very primitive land without outside support. So that you know, I guess that's one of the problems of another country or even an island. You know, if you're in South America, like you're able to do all of that, but you're in an island in the West Indies, like there's no way.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I would totally go back. I bought a couple party gifts. I bought a couple Hoyo de Monterreys that were Habanos, and I also bought a couple Cohibas, and those were not for me. Those were for my father because he was bugging me to see if I could get him some, bring him some home, and I was happy to oblige and do that.
Oh, of course. Of course. For science.
For science. I smoked quite a bit while I was there, but I really didn't smoke much of anything that I bought there while I was there. I started my trip with Aladino Corojo Reserva number 4.
Nice.
Which is just an amazing cigar.
And we still have those, which I cannot believe.
I can't believe.
Because those are a year and a half now. At least a year of extra age with all the age you already had on them before. And they're not making them this year. So I have a feeling that because, you know, we're recording on Friday. Tomorrow, I know it's a couple days prior to when this releases.
Yeah.
We're having our Aladino event. I would assume we're probably going to sell out of those.
I would think so.
I do have a couple back that I'm going to let continue to age, see what they do in about 5 years.
Totally.
But I have a feeling those are going to go quickly because, I mean, it's a smaller box and it's a lower price point, but it's also one of the best renditions of that cigar, period.
I think so. So while I was there, I smoked that. I smoked a couple of the, like when I was just sitting outside piddling around, I would smoke the knuckle sandwich Habano, the petites, the little tiny test blends that came out.
Yeah.
And again, still great.
They are.
Still great.
I still have one left. One.
I think I have 10 left.
Do you?
Yeah, because I bought a whole bundle and have been smoking them sparingly, but I was like, I'm on vacation. Like, let's do this. And I smoked a couple knuckle sandwich 55s, which actually I was impressed by how much this chairman's 1931 stood up to a knuckle sandwich 55. I could see
that for sure. Yeah. All that chocolate going, man.
Well, I was just worried. You know, sometimes I get in the mindset of proof plays a big factor. Like, I don't want something low proof with something full bodied, and then you have something that's 92 proof with something as full bodied as a knuckle sandwich 55, and it's like, hey, they can hang. Like, again, it's all a science, but we're no scientists.
No,
we just
play them on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, and I did see that Espinosa has released that they're going to be shipping out the Las Seis Provincias for this year, 1st of November.
Okay.
Which is a little later than they were planning on. That's kind of been happening a lot with Espinosa lately. I did get in some knuckle sandwich Maduros. I got a few boxes of the Robustos and a couple boxes of the Toros, and I got more Toros coming once they get them. So we'll have some of those. I'm assuming, I hate assuming because I don't know for sure, but I do know that they've been talking about the knuckle sandwich 56.
Yeah.
Which is the same as it should be the same as the 55 blendwise, which was the San Andreas. Mm-hmm. Just one ring gauge bigger for his 56th birthday.
Which genuinely, it'll probably be the same.
I hope it is, because that was so perfect the way it was.
I mean, who makes a mold for a 55 box press?
There's no way to measure it either because it's an oval. There's no way to actually measure it. So it's kind of interesting, but hopefully that one will be coming as well. And I'm going to try to get as many boxes as will let me get of that one.
Heck yeah.
Because we got all we could last year, and I think it was only 5 boxes.
Yeah.
And it might be the same boat this year, but we'll see.
Okay. So I am ready to move on to something.
All right.
What do you think about moving on to the West Fork?
Let's do it. So Will Breeden bought, this is a...
Do we want to...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a West Fork barrel pick from the Indiana Bourbon Club. And no shade towards West Fork. Their stuff is new. Their stuff is very young. We're both, I feel like you are. I know I am. I really want to see them succeed. I want them to make some good products of their own distillate.
They are in Indianapolis. Well, used to be in the downtown area. Now they're in Westfield.
Beautiful location.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to cheer them on. But I have not liked anything.
No, and that was the thing. I went through and tasted all their stuff, and honestly, none of it was my jam. My jam. It was young, and this was a pick. And honestly, I'll let you tell me your thoughts on it before we get going.
I'm my glass because I don't want this rum to do any
that's
justice.
True. I already did it, but I've already had this before. So, to me, this showed that they might have a little bit of promise. I just feel like they need to let things age longer.
Yeah, so how, what's the age statement on this?
Honestly, I don't think anyone knows. We looked on the bottle and everything. I didn't see it. I would assume, I can't even
somebody
assume.
said it was 3, but
I think that's what I heard was 3 too. It needs a couple more years just because for me.
Here's the deal. Weeders in general, like they are of age at 6 years. I don't care where you are. Maker's Mark's minimum is 6 years. Starlight, when they've done weeded bourbons or wheat whiskeys, I've put them out at 6 years.
Yeah. You go ahead and get into it and talk about it for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh gosh. So on the nose for me, this does almost a funky banana bread thing. It has definitely some of those typical wheated qualities. Has that wheater funk, which I typically associate, depending on what the distillery is. I'll associate it as like a rotting banana, or a banana that's gone a little too brown.
Ripe. Yeah.
Or like a cream cheese, depending on how far aged it is. It has that. The nose is actually really pointed and sharp. Has a lot of the young ethanol notes for me on the nose. If you were to hand me this in a glass and you said, "This is your pour of the night," or "We'll get you something else," but you can't sip it on the nose, I would say, "No, I'm out." Like,
yeah. The one of the things I get on the flavor, which always reminds me of something really young, is that corn husky thing going. And it's because it's got a pretty high amount of corn in this, even though it's a weeder.
Yeah.
But I think it was only maybe 12% wheat or something.
Well,
like that,
and I know what you're
10%.
talking about and calling corn husk, but I almost think of it as like a cut grass note.
Could be.
Like it's very vegetal, very green.
Yeah. Like I said,
I don't think it's terrible. There's no finish.
I'm with you too, and that's what we all said was the finish is just like gone. The one thing I was encouraged with it though was I feel like they have some promise. I think there could be something coming down the road that could be good.
The problem is they've had promise for 5 years now.
That could be, yeah, that's true. That's true.
When are you going to stop putting out so much young stuff and keep some back to age it?
Right.
Because maybe that's all they need is more time. And I would love to have West Fork on the show and talk about this because we have dogged on them in the past, and I understand it. But it was started by people who did not know whiskey. They got into whiskey as an investment.
Yeah, they were taking MGP and aging it in different ways, and had the Hugh Hammer and Old Hammer line.
Yeah,
and
which
honestly,
those started out as really good.
They are good, and there are some releases that are still really good. And honestly, they're never going to stop doing that because that's where they're making most of their money right now while they get this all figured out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the reason, and I will say one thing: when you hear us dogging on most distilleries that we do dog on, it's not because
it's not a prejudice thing.
No, it's because we want them to be better.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't do them any good. And this is me talking, and probably Rob will say the same thing. It doesn't do us any good to talk them up on a product that wasn't ready. If you want something, if you even have an inkling that they'll be able to deliver on something, and you know what? West Fork, I hope, becomes the biggest brand in Indiana. That would be so cool to have in our backyard.
Yeah.
But us talking them up on this young product and, people going out and supporting them just because they're an Indiana brand is not going to cause them to change anything.
Right.
And, I'm sure that they've heard before that, hey, maybe this needs a little bit more age, but I would have never picked this.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's one of the things too. When people go on picks, and we tell people every time we go on a pick the exact same thing. If there's nothing special, we can walk away. There's nothing in there. But I feel like a lot of times people go on picks and they say, "Well, we got to pick the best thing we taste."
No,
and then
sometimes the best thing you taste, it only tastes good because you tried 20 before it
that were terrible. Yeah. And that's one. I mean, just like when we went to Starlight, we went through probably, no exaggeration, probably 30 barrels.
Yeah.
Before we got to the one we said, okay, that one's special.
Oh,
we were ready to walk if they didn't have that last one.
Yeah, we were.
And nothing was bad. Nothing was special though.
And when you're buying for an on-premise establishment or even a bourbon club, every single bottle needs to be able to hold its own. If you're going to tie your name to it and you want to build awareness of your club, of your establishment, whatever it is, if you want people to be able to trust what you're doing, you cannot let them down even once.
No.
Now, there's people will talk about the wood hat picks, and they'll say, "Oh, well, those weren't my favorite." It's like, I still think that they can hold their own because they're
delicious.
Special.
They were.
We told everybody these are grain forward. These are made by such and such. They have this history, all this stuff. Those bottles are the only thing like it that you will ever get.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we had chosen those for the club. And you know what? They're not everybody's jam. And we told them that they wouldn't be.
And the funny thing was those sold out like that. Both barrels. So
it didn't have, but I say everything has to be special. It doesn't have to be a Stag Killer or anything like that. It doesn't have to be aged in a Weller full-proof barrel, which is not a non-existent thing. It doesn't have to be any of those things to be a good bottle that's worthy of somebody buying and putting on their shelf.
Well, and that's the thing too. When you have clubs that do a lot of picks, and I'm not just talking about Indian Bourbon Club. I'm talking about all clubs that do a lot of picks. You got to be careful what you pick because, everyone can't buy every bottle.
Yeah.
And if you're doing 10, some of these clubs do 10, 15 picks a year, you're talking, like Starlight, for example. Starlight bottles are now $75, $80. And it's like, you can only do that so many times and people keep buying them.
And at this rate, for anything over 60 for me, it's got to be able to hold its own. Honestly, it's got to be better than like just a regular Backbone pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Backbone, I don't care who you are, they're putting out hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're also
Peach Street, for example. I mean, that's a $65 bottle. I mean, it's a great price point. Now, I think some of the picks have been up in that $75 to $80 price point. But so this next one comes from the Bothers. They stopped and dropped these off. This is a
this is a Maker's Private Select pick.
Private Select. They call it the Best Served with Kernels.
Yeah,
is what it's called. This is what they say on it. It says, here's what you're about to taste. Nose, creme brulee, toffee, orchard fruits. Taste, butterscotch, walnut, fudge. Creamy in texture with long roasty finish. 109.3.
That adds up for makers in general. That's a very common thing for them. So the stave profile on this is 5 French Cuvée, 3 Makers 46, which they're finally ready to admit that Makers 46 is just French oak staves. And then they have 2 roasted French vanilla staves in there.
I didn't even see it on the back.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wow, he can read.
I can read. All right. And I am notoriously not a Makers fan.
This is
at
true.
all.
I actually don't expect Rob to like this because it smells like Makers. On the nose, to me, it is kind of, it's like, and take this all with a grain of salt. We've been smoking a cigar. We've been through 2 rums. We've been through a whiskey we hated. Didn't hate it. Was disappointed by it.
Yes.
On the nose, to me, it smells like peaches and cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, it's definitely got that kind of that fruity sweetness on the nose, which I get on everything Makers.
Yeah.
It just never equates to the palate for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to stick with the peaches on there, and it just...
I'm getting that toffee.
Like peaches, brown sugar. Yeah, I could see that toffee thing.
Actually, it's not bad. I kind of like that.
Good for you.
I kind of like that.
And there's almost a peanutty quality there.
They're calling it walnut there.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's not bad. I kind of like that a lot. It definitely has that. Okay, now as it sits, that butterscotch is coming through. That might be the best Makers I've had.
Wow.
I still haven't got your cellar finish.
I still don't have a cellar aged either.
That's something too. If any of you guys have a hit on one of those cellar, he'll get it. He'll take it from you because he's been wanting one pretty bad.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay $500 for it.
No.
I just
treat
don't
him
have
right.
it like that.
Give it to him for what you paid for it. MSRP.
The other thing is if you have a bottle and you'd like to sell me a sample of it or sell the show a sample of it at a reasonable rate.
Yeah.
I would love to get a 2-ounce sample from you just to try it on the show, and I'll be fair as long as you're fair with me. I don't want to pay no $100 for a sample of that bottle.
Well, and I will say that's something else that I've been thinking about a little bit too, is we've been doing a lot of these sample pours just to kind of give our opinions on things. Maybe, some stuff we're getting in here if we can, but some stuff we can't get. If you have something out there that you love, that you've got, that you're willing to give up a sample for us to try on the show, we'd love to. We'll shout you out. We'll talk about it.
You know what? We'll also recommend cigars to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like this cigar is going really nicely with this. That toffee butterscotchy kind of thing going is really playing nice with the spice level on the cigar.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That actually might be a great pairing together right there.
I have found that a lot of the Maker's Mark, the Cash Strength, the Private Selects, all those things go really well with cigars. I think Weeders in general are kind of a great base palette for cigars just because they are much more gentle in the way that they present spice. Typically, they're over 6 years, so they have a little bit more refined sugar characteristics in there too. I think in general, you can almost say, yeah, if that's a reputable weeded bourbon over 6 years, there's a ton of cigars that are going to pair with that.
Yeah. This one is good. I really like this.
And this cigar is spicy enough that it's adding something to the whiskey.
It is, because sometimes when you get spice, you want to actually have something that has a little sweetness on the other side to kind of counterbalance a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is working well with that. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, bothers.
Other pours that this Aladino Sumatra would work well with would be the Starlight Ryan Port.
Yep.
I think that the old Clifty,
the brandies would go great with this.
Either of the brandies,
either
but
of them.
specifically the Rye Port Barrel brandy.
Yeah.
Barrel Dovetail would go really well with this.
I think the new Elijah Craig pick would go well too with that vanilla cream soda thing going.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Rob, I have taken down most of a bottle.
I know.
I have not gone to much anything else.
Oh, I know.
Recently, and
we've sold so much of it. I mean, it's been going really well. And I will say, we haven't talked about this yet because I just did it. When I got back from vacation, we've all been just kind of floored by all the reviews of which we talked about on the last show, the Elijah Craig C923.
yeah.
So I decided maybe the bottle we had was just a bad bottle. So I cracked our second bottle.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
If you love it, great. I mean, it's just too much oak.
And it's tannic oak.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a similar oak profile that I'd get in like an Elijah Craig 18, where it's like the oak is sitting there by itself.
But I felt like the 18 was even a little smoother than the 13.7.
I don't know. I have never had an Elijah Craig 18 I enjoyed.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. I'm just saying I didn't feel like it was as oaky as this one.
Yeah.
But
I think it's also because this is higher proof. So
true.
Elijah Craig 18, I just don't think stands a chance to be able to combat the oak. A lot of those sweet notes that are naturally in Elijah Craig are proofed out of it.
Yeah.
Like they're just watering it down.
Sure.
To get it to, I think EC18's in the 90s.
Oh, is it really?
So
okay. I didn't realize it was that low.
Lower. And
because somebody tried that when we were on our pick, and I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Isaiah.
No, he had Evan Williams 12.
Oh, that's what I had too.
That
was delicious.
I had a bottle of that, and then I gave it to him for his birthday. So I don't have a bottle anymore. But
we just need to go down and do the Elijah Craig experience, or the Evan Williams experience. Well, we do have one more to try when we get done with this one too. This is a company it's Cleveland Whiskey Company. This is their wheat penny. It's another wheated bourbon. When he came in, he and I have to go through and really learn a lot more about what he was talking about. But they do fast aging, and their claim is it tastes the same. And when I tasted it, the other ones, not this one, the other ones, I'm like, they're good. They still have that youngness to them, which they should. They're only in a barrel, or they're only in that basically a pressure cooker kind of thing for a day, 24 hours. And they're coming out dark like this in a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that can't be natural. This one though, this was their cast strength weeder. We'll try it here in a second.
It's
it was
a year old.
It's a year old too.
Oh.
But they did the fast thing with it, and then they aged it a year. So just try it, see what you think. I mean, it was the best thing they had, and I picked up a couple bottles because I think Bother was here, Mike, and I think he tried it, and he said, "Oh, I mean, for the price point, I mean, it's going to be under $10 for a pour." He said, "Oh yeah, I'd get that," and so it's like, "Oh, we'll bring it in here and see how it goes." And it gives us another liter.
How much a pour?
I think it's going to be like $9 a pour.
Oh, okay. So it could be another like cash strength old fashioned contender.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. And we don't have any Weeders and old fashions at this point, so
That's so interesting. I appreciate smaller distilleries trying to cut their teeth and do something that others are not.
Yeah.
Trying to do rapid aging. In that way, I know that like Old Forester does some climate type aging things where they'll heat things up and then cool them down very quickly. But you know, everybody has to have their claim to fame, and it probably helps them keep their cost down significantly. So
yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and go on my my little rant for the day, since I haven't had a rant yet for a while.
yeah.
So something that really irritates me, is there's a couple of podcasts out there that try to do like these. They're trying to anticipate and what word am I looking for?
Predict.
Thank you. What's going to happen? And
in cigars or in whiskey or what?
And what kills me is like there's this one show, and again they're doing a lot for the industry. I like the guys.
Is it a couple
they're good.
guys
they're,
from
they're,
New Hampshire?
Yeah, it's the Cigar Authority podcast. But you know, they've been over the last few weeks talking about how, you know, sales are down, and you know, we're finally at the end of the cigar boom, and blah blah blah, and all this stuff like that. And too is I'm like, all they're doing to me is they're creating basically their shop. They're telling their people, you need to slow down and stop buying cigars. And it's happening because they're telling their people it's happening. And it's like, so in the exact same week they said that on the show that the sales are down, the boom's over, Cigar Aficionado posts out a thing, says across the nation, polling all the retailers, everyone says it's still up and still growing. And we can see that here. It's still growing. It's like, don't, you know, so my thought on that is, if you listen to other podcasts and someone says, oh, this is happening, don't take it to heart. If you got money to buy cigars, go buy cigars.
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't, then don't. But don't.
So why would they tell people to slow down buying?
I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like he wants to predict things, and then if it happens, he feels like he's special. I don't know. I don't get it.
Would he say like
down.
when the cigar boom like pops that prices will drop, or you know what is?
No, he's not really saying that as much as just it just I don't know. I don't understand why people do that. Which that's our so Lisa just bought her a new car, and that's the guy that sold it to us. So
okay, there you go.
I guess he decided to come by and have a cigar.
So, this whiskey on the nose for me. This is that what penny?
Wheat penny.
Wheat penny.
Wheat
whiskey.
penny.
On the nose to me.
You know what it smells like?
Manure.
It smells like that 1931 rum.
I don't think so. I think the 1931 smells better.
I'm getting the same kind of.
It has that funky, degrady thing that rums do, but it's just high enough proof that it's off-putting to me on the nose.
Taste it and see what you think. It's not bad. Smooth. But again, I'm not a weeder, so not your jam?
It is not my jam.
Okay.
It is. I think in a mixed drink and a cocktail, yeah, you would not catch me sipping this neat.
Yeah, you may be right. I'm not mad about it. It's not bad.
It
it's
just
a
does.
good. It's another weeder option for people to try. A new company.
No, yeah. And the other thing is, like, to me, it does a lot of those sharper alcohol notes in my mouth,
Which is because it's young.
It's because it's young. Yeah,
Yep. You can't trick age. Even though you claim you can, you really can't trick age. Now, can you trick color and make it look like it's older? Sure.
Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah.
But I get that same feeling as like, it just tastes like a young weeder.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's off-putting on any flavor to me. I feel like it's just a kind of for me, it's a smooth weeder. And again, I haven't found too many weeders I like, so.
Yeah, it's not my jam. It does have a certain viscosity on the palate that I enjoy.
Yeah, it's definitely got the mouth-watering thing going, which I do like in whiskey.
Again, it's just one of those things where it's like very promising. I would actually say that's more promising than the West Fork stuff. If you can do that in 1 year, let me try it in 3.
Exactly. So I would love, and I think that's one of the things they are doing. They do a lot of the rapid aging stuff, and things because they're young, but I think they're aging some stuff the natural way. So we'll see what they do in the future.
I mean,
have to get
you'd
them on
have
here
to
sometime.
imagine that their distillate's really good for it to be as good as that is at 1 year. And what size barrels do you know?
I think they said 53s.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure
in
they're
a
53s.
53, 1 year with rapid aging, they are working miracles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are they tricking me? No.
No, and that's the thing too. Is like one thing he did say that I didn't agree with, and again, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus if you are listening to this. I don't think he is, but one of the things he said is when people say that they can tell this is young, they're not being honest. I'm like, yeah, you can tell,
Buddy, I don't think you've tasted enough whiskey.
Yeah, and I mean I get, when it's your baby,
Yeah.
you're gonna love it more than everybody else.
Yes, you will.
And you should. But I think okay, let me back this up even further though. For just a regular whiskey drinker that's not nerding out like we do, they may love it.
Yeah.
Maybe just exactly. They may not get the nuances of it at all, and that's fine. But for someone that actually tastes it and hunts it and does stuff like that, they're going to tell this is a younger whiskey. So,
but I'm even the type to not, even without an age statement, like I have tasted a lot of the Elijah Craig barrel proof picks and said, this was not ready. Mm-hmm. Like this could have used, learning from Alan Bishop, like this could have used a harsh winter.
Yes.
Like really done that. And then I think it would have been great. Like, and it could be a 9-year product already.
Right.
But some of those youthy notes are still there. If it would have had a harsher winter or a different change there, like it could have been perfect.
So let me ask you this. On our pick,
Yeah.
you picked a different barrel.
Yeah.
And it was from the Deatsville location.
Yes.
Do you remember the taste on that Deatsville enough to know, is it similar to the C923? Not cut the oak out.
Okay.
But is it similar? Because that's one of the things Will and I were talking about. Is like, is this just maybe one of the Deatsville barrels that they had that was one of the best Deatsville barrels they had at a higher age? Or
No.
was it? Because I can't remember the Deatsville because I honestly just didn't like the Deatsville note.
The thing was that I liked about that Deatsville barrel is it carried more of a rye spice.
Gotcha.
Just it was
Had
a
that
little bit
medicinal
more
rye thing
medicinal, a
going.
little
Yep.
bit more rye. And at the end of our blind, I was fine with either one of them. It took me a while to figure out which one I preferred.
Yeah.
But the other thing is with the Elijah Craig batches, is that they're batches. There's no way that like people go crazy over the Deatsville location. And I say people go crazy. You have to be in this niche subgroup of big fan of Elijah Craig barrel proof picks to know about the Deatsville location.
Yeah.
People go crazy about those for their single barrels. And
Because honestly, if we would have taken those two and blended our barrel with the Deatsvilles, it could have been fantastic.
yeah.
as a batch.
Well, I mixed
But
them
maybe
in.
by
I mixed them
itself-
in the glass and was like, "This is tight."
Oh, did you try it?
Yeah,
that
I
way?
mean, it brought a lot of the sweetness from ours and more of the spice from the Deetsville.
So it might have been a good balance.
Yeah, but Heaven Hill's not going to do that for you.
No, God, no.
So, I don't think that it's a Deetsville thing in that C923. It just wouldn't surprise me if they found a bunch of barrels that they were like, okay, this is what we're using. And I can't imagine that they'd go out of their way to say, oh, yeah, these ones for sure. Like, people love this specific flavor palette. I think people like the Deetsville barrels so much just specifically because of the rick house. Like, there's something special about that rick house, or maybe it's a placement within the rick house that makes typically more balanced. There's a little bit more of an oak presence on those.
But do they even release out what rick house they're from?
No.
I didn't think so. So there's no way to even find out
the
that.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923 could be from every single one of their rick houses because they made a ton of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there could be thousands of barrels in that batch because I keep seeing it dropped around the area.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is like it has an age statement of 13 years, 7 months. That's the youngest whiskey in there. There could be 18-year-old stuff in there. And who knows what all was in it. So it could have just been, I don't know. I feel like that they put that out there because they were tired of people saying, oh, everything's at 12 year. And then they're like, oh, well, here you go, guys. Here's 13 years, 7 months. Let's go.
And everybody's going crazy over it.
They still are.
I saw one guy on one of the local secondary pages, and he sold a C923 and a sample of an old Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Pirate bottle. I think it was a batch 3 or 4. And he had either posted about it or something else on another area, and he was like, I don't know who is comparing these, but they lied.
Yeah.
It's
I've never
not,
had the Pirate Barrel, so I don't know.
I have never either. I was not into whiskey at that time and was not of age to buy when they were in the other bottles. But it was just one of those things where, like, everybody's, oh, this is the best one since the Pirate bottles, and those are coveted. Like, those will reach $500, $600, $700 on secondary market because some of them are hazmats, and that was before being a hazmat was cool.
So what's the C923 on secondary right now going for?
It's right around 110, so it's dropped down significantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was down at a liquor store down in Florida, and I went in there, and I was told that they had a lot of harder to find stuff. Well, yeah, they do. It's stupid price too.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had the C923 for like $200, $220 or something like that. They had Stag, the 2023, the 2022, the first one, the A.
Yeah.
They had that one for, I think it was $269. And it's like, the guy's like, oh, hey, you want it? I'm like, not for that. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's insane. I was like, how long has it been up there? He's like, oh, it's been up there for a little while. I'm like, yeah, no one's going to pay that for it.
Yeah.
I mean, even on vacation, you're not going to pay $270 for a freaking Stag.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
even though I love Stag, I would not pay that.
wouldn't, in a retail establishment, I would never pay over $100 for it.
Yeah.
I just, like, knowing what they are, even the picks, like, I know the wholesale cost and how they come in.
Yeah.
You are making, I mean, that dude is making 4 times
Yeah.
on that bottle. Like,
Well, and that's another, that just doesn't make sense to me too. If you're in an area where people are buying stuff crazy like that, you know what? We're in America, do whatever the hell you want to. I won't buy it, but someone will.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're actually letting something sit on your shelf for 6 months before you sell it. That's not a good business model.
no,
Sell it for a lower price and make your money and buy something else.
if he marked those to 150, he'd still make, well, his profit would be just the same price as the
About
bottle.
double, yeah.
And
And
he'd still be making out like a bandit, and somebody would buy that within a month.
in a heartbeat. Yeah. Because, I mean, even at that 110, 120 price point, I would consider it if it's one I don't have. But now I'm
I would
looking at
consider it if I were on
150 stretching
vacation,
it.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Because on secondary, the lowest I've seen them lately is 220.
Mm-hmm.
But they're releasing so many now that the secondary value's gone down. I remember last year they were closer to 350.
Yeah.
But between the store picks and the batches that they're doing that are now numbered and everything, coming down in price because the market is being flooded.
It is.
And
that's why you're starting
we love
to
to see it.
Everybody that's, finally getting their bottle of VH Taylor small batch and finally getting their bottle of Sazerac and all these things that should be easy to get, but they're finally able to get it.
Regular old Sazerac rye is sitting on shelves around here.
Everywhere.
Yes,
everywhere.
Which
and
you
it
used
should
to not be able to find it.
But it should be. Buffalo Trace.
Well,
you want
it's a
Buffalo
terrible
Trace,
rye.
go buy Buffalo Trace because you can
Yeah.
buy it everywhere now and it's cheap.
Yeah.
So-
I think the only reason Buffalo Trace was in shortage for a little while at the beginning of this year was just because of the distributor change.
Yeah.
And RNDC was selling up what they had before. All the stores were switching over to ordering from Johnson Brothers.
Could be. But I will say Johnson's got a little bit more product out there now, and they're starting to release it to people. And
Oh, they definitely
you're
are.
going to start seeing Wellers a lot more, which you already are. You're starting to see Weller pop up everywhere now, and it probably won't be too long. You can start getting the antique 107s and some of those easy too. So it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
Oh, it's coming. It'll be here soon.
So
Fuel.
I got my fuel game tonight, opening night tonight. We're going out there because one of the main reasons we're going, obviously we're fuel fans, but second, we're sponsoring the third period. So tonight we get to see how they blast our name out there at the arena. So
You
we're
gonna
excited
video
about
it
that.
and post it?
I'm going to, yes,
yeah.
as long as something I can actually figure out how to make it look good because it's actually the ring of fire going around it. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, cool. You
So-
gonna smoke a cigar in the arena?
No, probably not. Probably not.
Just bring your jewel.
No, I don't think you can even do that.
Yeah, probably
you shouldn't
not.
be able to, but
And that's a joke. Rob does not vape.
no, I do not vape. No. So on this cigar, I'm getting towards the end of the second third. You're probably getting
I'm in
close
the
to the
final
third.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It mellows out. That spice doesn't stay near as strong as it does in the beginning. I feel like this is probably still one of the more full-bodied, minus the Corojo Reserva.
I think it's more full bodied
It
than the
might
Corojo
early
Reserva.
on. I think it is. Now I don't know if it really still is, but it could be. This definitely is a little bit of a venture away from the traditional
Totally.
Aladino, which again, Aladino. That's one knock people have given Aladino in the past was everything is so mild and everything's mild. That's fine because a lot of people love those cigars and they want to smoke something a little milder. This, I think, just kicks them up a notch and allows some of the smokers to enjoy the Nicaraguan tobacco that might be a little bit stronger to enjoy their cigars. And this one here definitely fits the bill for that. And I'm really loving it. We got a bunch of boxes. I'm sure we won't sell out of them during the event tomorrow. So when this airs, if you haven't tried it yet, come in and try these. We're gonna have plenty of them available. And honestly, everyone that smoked one so far has absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a winner, and
It's super enjoyable.
That's one thing that I feel like Aladino does different than some other brands do. Some brands will go out there and do limited editions, and that's it. You're never going to do it again. I feel like what they do with limited editions are they're testing the market,
Yeah.
and if it goes well, they'll bring it back in some way, some fashion. So this could be something down the road, maybe even more. Or maybe they're just testing out the filler and binder on it
Elegante.
too.
Give me an Elegante, Trey Mack and Houston.
Oh, this could be an amazing Elegante.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely,
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
So, anything else you want to share today?
No, I don't think so. I think we should be good.
All right,
to
we're good to go.
About wrap it up.
Wrap
Yeah.
her up, baby.
So, really, thanks for tuning in on our vacation, talking all
Yeah,
that stuff. Sorry
yeah.
if we made you jealous, but you talking about two boys that haven't been on vacation in forever.
Forever, yes.
So,
Yep. Well, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. And again, you can follow me on Instagram at Final Third Cigar.
you can find me on Instagram at the Whiskey Pastor. Be sure to follow us, leave a review, like, comment, subscribe, all the things on YouTube. we've been growing
Yes.
recently, and that's due to you guys, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do. And get out if you want to go to a fun sporting event, go out and see the Fuel, see our how we're sponsoring them, and just get out and support them, support your local teams. That's what we love to do. And by the way, go Avs. We're 4-0, baby.
Go Avs.
4-0.
Go Avs.
All right,
Cool.
thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Our wonderful new table is brought to you by Deadwood Live. That's D-E-D Wood Live. Go check them out on Facebook and see what Derek can do for you. From bars to tabletops to a giant podcast table, they specialize in making super high quality furniture from live edge woods and reused barrels. So reach out to them on Facebook and see what they can do for you.